Are we ready?
Namaskar and very pleasant good afternoon to all the listeners of Radio Zindagi. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is again a great opportunity for all of us to talk to one of the finest. Dr. Saket Bhatia is live with us today on the Radio Zindagi. Of course, every Tuesday between the hours of 3 and 4, Dr. Saket Bhatia has PhD in astrology and is a certified professional neurologist, numerologist, and he is a senior board member of International Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology. With over 25 years of experience, he can help you uncover your strength, weakness, and true potential. Saketji can help you gain direction and guidance in your career, finance, business, health, children, immigration, relationship, and much, much more. Through his combined power of astrology and numerology, he can guide you to live a better life, get success, happiness, and fulfill your dreams. Folks, this is a great opportunity for all of you, wherever you are, after that crazy snow we had yesterday. We are live on Radio Zindagi. We are live on, your Facebook page. We are live on 540 AM, 96.7 FM, 1310 AM, and all these frequency all over Tri-State. And if you have any questions during the show, please feel free to call us at 732-662-4701. And welcome, Dr. Saket Bhatia. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Kulraj. How are you? And good welcome to all the listeners of Radio Zindagi. कैसे हो आप?
I'm very good, and I feel amazing, and it's good to see you. And how is the weather in California?
California is always nice. It's bright and sunny. We are having
Wow.
some rain, but no snow like you have. It's
Yes,
very different
it's
here.
been it's a little crazy, and of course, today we'll be talking about houses in astrology, the dominance of planetary, and of course, so let's talk about Dr. Saket Bhatia. Last week, you offered our listeners complimentary Varshful reports. How has that been for you so far, Dr. Saket Bhatia?
It has been phenomenal. अभी तक we have 182 requests for Varshful, and we only do this once a year. So
Mm-hmm.
16 दिन तो हो गए हैं. We barely have another, 15 days to go. So if you haven't taken advantage, I encourage you, go to our website or email us, info@saketbhatia.com. Send your date, place, time of birth, your name, and we will send you that report completely free. It's 47, 50 pages long. It tells you month by month how it's going to be for you. कुलराज आपने तो भेजा ही नहीं मेल, तो आपको मिलेगा नहीं अब.
नहीं, मैं आपको दोबारा भेजता हूँ. I want to connect because I know I had some reading done by you, and I think they are amazing and they are accurate, and I think it's very, very helpful to to drive your way to your life in the right direction.
अच्छा है. We want to do make sure that people are getting the answers, at least general पता चल जाएगा. Career, business, finance, health, relationship, how is all that playing out for you this year, month by month. So take advantage. करो, आपके लिए अच्छा रहेगा.
And folks,
180 requests is pretty good.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And folks, if you want to send the request, that's info@saketbhatia.com. You can always call them. 408-639-5300 is the number. And if you want to schedule an appointment, 408-639-5300. And I also want to request folks, if you want to call the studio and you want to ask him a question, 732-662-4701 is the number. 732-662-4701. So, Doctor, let's continue our discussion about the different houses in astrology. Are there any other type of house relation we should know of?
Last week हमने बताया था कि there are 3 types of relationships, but apparently I got about 4 emails from New York that said we're not clear on this. Could you repeat it again? So I thought let's spend a few minutes. क्योंकि listeners हमें feedback देते हैं तो we like it. So listeners said, what are the three types of houses? Please explain in detail. So astrology में जो कुंडली है that has 12 houses, right? These
Mm-hmm.
12 houses can be divided into three different segments: Upache, Apache, and Dushtana. Upache houses means increasing houses.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever planet is placed in these houses grows stronger over time. That makes sense, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
house number 3, 6, 10, and 11 are called Upache houses. 3 is what? It is your hobbies, it is your interest, it is your social circle. As you grow older, that should grow in time, na? Correct? जैसे
Mm-hmm.
जैसे आप बड़े होते हो, your social circle grows. Hopefully. Now, again, that is if there is a planet placed. अगर planet नहीं है, तो it is indifferent. Sixth house is the house of disease. जैसे जैसे एज बढ़ती है, बीमारियां भी लगती है. Why? Because the sixth house is an Upache house, right?
Mm-hmm.
10th house is career. As you grow older, you grow more in your career, right? You tend to accomplish a lot more. That is because it's an Upache house. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, 11th house is house of needs. Whatever you've worked hard for in life, the results will be given in the 11th house. Not just money, everything, status, education, that also grows with time. So these three houses are the ones that grow with time. Anything that is placed there. If there's a bad planet like Saturn and Mars, they're actually good. अगर शनि बैठ जाए इसमें in one of these houses, it gives you good career, gives you good stability, good growth, good amount of money, right? So 10th and 11th are best houses. I want to clarify that this is only applicable agar inme planet बैठा हो. If there is no planet, then it's not considered the same. Next will be the 4 planet groups called Apache house. Anything in this house will decrease over time. What is it? 1, 4, 7, 2, and 8 houses. First house, you. As you're getting older, your automatically, you know, your value will start diminishing a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
diseases लगती हैं, responsibilities होती हैं. And first house is body. As you age, things change for you. Second house is what? Wealth and values. As you grow older, you may make more money, but then you're spending more money on yourself, family. वो हो जाता है. Fourth house is property, happiness. The growth you had before, you won't have that as you grow older. Seventh
Mm-hmm.
is relationship, and eighth is death. Right? 6, 8, and 12 are considered to be very bad houses, Dushtana houses. Any planet which is placed here becomes very weak because of problems. Sixth is disease, eighth is death, and 12th house is one which causes sorrow, depression. If these houses have bad planets and they have bad aspects, then they can cause problems for you. So I just wanted to explain that these are not considered to be good houses. अगर 12th house में अच्छा planet बैठ जाता है, then it can indicate good spirituality. Only planet is Venus, which is an exception. अगर Venus 12वें घर में बैठे हो, undoubtedly it will give you comfort, prosperity, fame. Ketu will give you spirituality, वो तो पता है. Rahu is good in the 6th house, right? You always win over your enemies, you make money in foreign lands. Abhi, Kulraj, we are all immigrants, right? We are all from a foreign country. We're staying here.
That's right.
जितने immigrants की chart हमने पढ़ी है ना, we notice one common thing. Those who don't go back, we see an afflicted 4th house. You can say there are 5 million Indians staying here, 7, 10 million. 10 million की chart में we will see afflicted 4th house, which means place you were born, you're going to lose that house. And we see either an aspect of Rahu, Jupiter, or Saturn on the 12th house. Why? Because this is a valid science. 5 million chart khologe, you will see the same thing. Affliction on 4th house and or aspect of Jupiter Rahu on the 12th house. So this is very crazy. It's very unique. We don't just see this here. You go to the charts of Chinese immigrants, Russian immigrants, हमारे पास जो आते हैं, Mexican immigrants, we see the same thing.
जी.
Affliction on fourth house and then something else, So this
Means
is
anybody who
pretty good.
comes to this part of the world and they all have the similar, you know, chart, basically the fourth house.
Fourth house. We have lots of people who lose their jobs and go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
H1 हुआ नहीं, so they have to go back. In that case, we see the fourth house is not afflicted; it is strong. But there is aspect on 12th, which means जब दशा आती है, they end up coming here. दशा जाती है, they go back. So when people
Mm-hmm.
come to me and say, "Hey, I've lost my job. I'm on H1 visa. What will happen?" We see fourth house, we see 12th house, and we see is any of them damaged? If any of them is, we can give them direction and say, "No, you're not going to get your green card. You are going to go back, or you are going to get your asylum. You're going to stay here." आपने सुना है there are many people who can predict कि asylum होगा कि नहीं. It is merely on the basis of fourth house and 12th house.
Fourth
That's it.
house. Got
Yeah,
it.
उस पे planets, aspects, we have to study that very carefully, understand what it is, and then we can make a good prediction.
I have one question here, Dr. Saket Bhatia, that every astrologer, has, if when he reads a chart, do they have different predictions or they have their own way of reading the chart? Like the way you read it is, totally different than so many astrologers out there.
There are rules, right? You have to follow certain rules.
Mm-hmm.
When जब astrology जब लिखी गई थी, it said this is how you need to read a chart. But many people क्या होता है कि they forget those rules. They forget the order you're supposed to read in. You always start with the first house, then you look at aspects, you look at planets, then look at what question is being asked. But experience pay, when people claim they have too much experience, they forget those rules. They try reading generally themselves. That's not good, no?
Because
If you go to
absolutely.
it's like medical science. You have to read the chart and give diagnosis. उसका set procedure होता है. If
You
you
have
are
to
doing
follow a
that
system.
wrong, if you're doing it wrong, you're going to get wrong results. And many astrologers just want to make a little bit of money quickly, no? So they will scare you, they will tell you something, and whatever be the case, that's not what we want to do. I don't think I'm reading charts differently. I think we are reading charts the right way, the way they should be read. We are doing things the way the organization, the Ayavanjo association, hey, there are guidelines. This is how to read.
Mm-hmm.
Go pick up a basic book on astrology or an advanced book. They will tell you the exact same thing. Start by reading this, then moving to that. But आजकल के astrologers के पास time नहीं होता. They have so many people. Every minute
Yes.
they have to read a chart.
That's so true. Folks, if you just joined us, we are live on Radio Zindagi Tri-State, Dr. Saket Bhatia. And of course, he has 25 years of experience and he's a senior board member of National Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology, which is, really very, very highly regarded and respected. And anytime you want to connect with him, info@saketbhatia.com, and he's offering like a complimentary service to all our listeners and viewers who are watching us on Facebook, info@saketbhatia.com to get your Varshfal. And to reach him and make an appointment, 408 639 5300. That is his number where you can schedule a meeting and talk to him about your any issues you have. My next question, in your opinion, what are the 4 goals of life?
These are also very well defined in astrology. There are 4 goals. 12 घर हैं. We'll divide this into 3 houses each. The first goal is dharam. House 1, 5, 9. These are related to your life in general. What is the purpose you have in life? Why are you here? What are you supposed to do? Who are you supposed to meet? How are you supposed to live? This is your dharam. So these are the 3 critical houses 1, 5, and 9. The second is arth, which is money. How are you going to accumulate your wealth? How are you going to accumulate possessions in life? This is run by house 2, 6, and 10. how what work you will do, how much effort you will put, and growth in life, satisfaction. The third goal of life is kama, which is how do you enjoy that money that you've done? Not just money, but wealth. That is related to house 3, 7, and 11. It also shows how much energy you will have, how you will spend your materialistic things in life, how you will enjoy, how much travel you will do. And finally, there is house 4, 8, and 12, which is related to moksha, which is related to letting go of things when you've moved on in life. So again, it starts with dharam, why you are born, then earth, which is how you will make resources meet for yourself the right way, then kama, how you will spend those resources and enjoy, and finally, how you will give up everything in life, all the struggles, everything you go through, and how you finally seek inner satisfaction and inner peace. ये चार goal है life के. Kind of
Very,
easy to
very.
hear, but hard to make it understand. Very hard
Mhm.
to do.
It's not easy. And now we have reached the different house introductions. Can you start by telling our listeners what you want to achieve by discussing the houses?
See, every aspect of human life is in astrology, whether it is health, wealth, happiness, property, education, sibling, debts, litigation, jail, lottery winning, horse racing, gambling, stock market, technology, hospice, uh, disease, hair, eyes, teeth, everything is there in astrology. And all of these are put in 12 houses. It's surprising. So, the very first thing people need to know is in 12 घरों में है क्या? What does each house stand for? I'm saying this for a reason. Even if you're not an astrologer, let's say you don't know anything about astrology, you can still go online, you can still make your birth chart. Once you make your birth chart, you can at least look at that chart and look at the house to see how good it is, how strong it is. So, what I am trying to do is make people understand what different houses mean, what they imply, how you need to read a chart, and what all is involved in a certain house. It's going to be a very different analysis, very easy to understand for people. I'm not trying to complicate a subject matter here, I'm trying to make it elementary. So, a layman who's never read his chart, never seen his chart, can understand, oh, this is me. This is what is going to happen to me. This is how I am. So let's start by going through different houses. I'm going to talk about all those 12 houses. It may take some time,
Mhm,
one house at a time. I will explain what is the house about, what it signifies. If something good is there, what happens? If something bad is there, what happens? And why
mhm,
that house is important. Every house is important. You cannot miss one house. You cannot overlook the sixth house of disease or the fifth
mhm,
house of creativity. Some people tell me, I don't care about fifth house because I don't have children. Yes, but fifth is also intelligence. It is also speculation. It is also advice you give others. It is
mhm,
also the luck you brought from your previous life. It is also the money of your parents. So these are important things. You have to know. अभी eighth house लोग कहते हैं is house of death. Okay, it is also your house of litigation. If you have a litigation, how long it's going to go on. It is also the house of inheritance. It is also the house of astrology, your hidden talent. So बहुत कुछ होता है घरों में. You have to know what house is so what. I'll talk through each house. I'll walk through each house. I'll make you understand what is what. So you get
mhm.
a better understanding. वो करते हैं आज.
That's very
One by one.
interesting. Yes.
Yes.
So
Let's do that.
let's go to the first house, the ascendant.
The very first house, the most important house in a birth chart, is called the ascendant. In Sanskrit, it is called Lagna Bhava, which means
Lagna
Bhava
Bhava.
is, yeah, Lagna Bhava, which means it's all about you, who you are. This house has an affinity for Aries and Mars. अगर इनमें Aries and Mars, if it is an Aries sign and Mars, natural zodiac, it tends to become stronger. The first house represents your head. It represents your face. It represents your ego. It represents your self awareness. Okay, these are very important things. This is what the first house represents. The first house is the most important house in astrology. In
Mm-hmm.
Sanskrit, it is also called Tanur Bhava, which means the body you're in, how tall you are, how fat you are, how much hair you have, your eyes, how you speak, how successful you will be in life, struggles you will have, what career you will have. Everything is determined by the first house. If your first house is strong, the ruling planet of the first house is strong, the aspects on the first house are strong, you will have a wonderful life. How many successful people we see in the world? They all have very strong first house. If your first house is weak, you're going to have struggles in life. Again, astrology deny nahi karti hai. It tells you you will get, but you have to either work hard for it or things will magically fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
If the first house has strong afflictions or Saturn, Rahu, then it indicates very difficult delivery. So we can predict if you were a normal baby, C-section baby by looking at your first house. If your first house is very weak, we know you're going to have lots of ill health in your life. If there is a bad aspect, we know what kind of bad health you will have. How you will be seen by the world, whether they will look at you with pride or whether they will look at you with low level, is also seen by the first house. It is your personality. If the first house has, let's say, moon or sun sitting with Rahu, Ketu, and an aspect of Saturn, it will cause mental disorders for you. Life में जो stress होता है can be caused by the first house. Many people who have sun sitting in the first house tend to start their own businesses. They are independent people. They have their own character. They're very strong. If we have moon in the first house, these are very people who are very complacent. They have strong sense of appealing to others. They're very popular people. They tend to forgive and forget and move on. So first house is सबसे important होता है. Honor, integrity, fame, recognition. This is first house. If the first house lord is sitting in the ninth house, we know you're going to be a very spiritual person. Agar first house, sixth house mein baith gaya, you'll always win over your enemies. If the sixth
Mm-hmm.
lord is sitting in the fifth, we know you're going to have lots of diseases. So remember, first house has to be studied very carefully. It is like your vehicle, it is your body. So to sum it up, your personal appearance, how you reflect to the outside world, your complete body, your face, your head, your character, tendencies, what you do in life, your health, happiness, longevity, strength, willpower, dignity, self esteem, confidence, status, fame, they're all through first house. Birth, early childhood. आप किसके घर में पैदा हुए हो? It's all in the first house. The Karak of this house is called the sun. Karak means something which is going to signify things in life. If you have sun sitting in the first house, chances are you will have weak bones, you will have loss of hair, you will have weak vision, but you will still be a leader. So this is what the first house is. Very, very important house. सबसे important house astrology में first house ही है.
So, dear
So you have
listeners and viewers, that was Dr. Saket Bhatia talking about the first house. And of course, if you want to reach him anytime and make an appointment and discuss, 408-639-5300. His website is saketbhatia.com. If you want to send an email to get the Varshfal, you can do that info@saketbhatia.com. And the number in the studio, 732-662-4701 is the number. And you can call in if you want to. My next question is, now let's discuss the second house, the house of wealth and value.
So second house in Sanskrit हम इसको कहते हैं धन भव. The natural zodiac, this would be Taurus. If you have Taurus in the second and you have Venus sitting there, it becomes very strong, very, very strong for you. It does well. So the second house is related with gathering, holding material resources, money, property, assets. The second house is related to your livelihood, how you're going to live your life, how much money you will earn, how you will provide for others, not just yourself. First, it does not indicate your career, but it indicates how much success financially you're going to have in your career through your own hard work, not through the hard work of others. That is the sixth house and 10th house.
Hmm.
It also talks about your face, how you're going to look. Are you going to be good looking, average looking, or not? It also talks about your mouth. Some people have very harsh speech. They're very brutal when they talk. That is because of the second house. It also talks about the kind of food you're going to like, the sense of art. As a house of speech, it talks about how intelligent you're being. If you have Mercury placed in this house, it's going to be phenomenal for you because Mercury is the planet of business, speech, communication. Many astrologers, many businessmen who talk, many life coaches, they must have Mercury in the second house. It makes you a good speaker, it makes you express yourself well. On the other hand, अगर Mercury is between two bad planets or has a bad aspect, then you're going to start stuttering. This is a house of speech and communication. Also represents very early education in your life, childhood. Mein. If you get separated from parents, that is the indication of the second house. How you will operate your life materialistically is second house. Social prestige, power of speech, writing, excessive spending is also the second house. So, indications, which I mean, what does the second house represent? If I'm going to sum it up, money, wealth, possessions, finance, values, speech, imagination, thoughtfulness, early childhood education, face and neck, mouth, tongue, taste, eyes, vision, right eye, actually, how much charity you will give, your love with gems, jewelry, it is all related to second house. The Karak planet is Jupiter, but second house is also called a Marka house. Marka in astrology means the house which causes death. Generally, Marka is whenever there is a dasha of the second lord or the seventh lord, it can cause health problems or death in a person. Otherwise, it is a neutral house. So these are the significations of the second house. Very important, you know.
Very, very interesting, Dr. Saket Bhatia. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching the show, they can learn so much. And I just want to let all of you, all the listeners and the viewers know that, uh, and of course, if you consult with Dr. Saket Bhatia, it can help you in so many ways. If you're in a business, if you are a physician, or if you are in some kind of relationship, marriage, business, or there's any other issues which are beyond you and you don't know what to do about it and how to go about it. Sometimes you make all the efforts and you're not successful. There might be something not right. And I think one phone call to Dr. Saket Bhatia and taking his advice can guide you, can help you, educate you, and it can help you build your future, on stronger foundation. And to reach him is 408-639-5300. That is his number where you can make an appointment, or you can visit his website, get all the details. That is saketbhatia.com. And if you want to send an email, that is info@saketbhatia.com. Folks, I just want to say that I have known Dr. Saket Bhatia for quite some time now, and his 25 years of experience is experience with so many people out there and different walks of life, and his interaction and helping and guiding. I think his main objective is to help you succeed in life, and whatever your goals are and whatever you want to achieve, he can make it possible, help you and educate you and tell you about your horoscope. So, folks, make that call 408-639-5300. or in the studio 732-662-4701. The show is every Tuesday between the hours of 3 to 4 p.m. So that is your opportunity to connect with him and listen to him and understand what he is trying to educate you. Let's move on to the third house, the house of
Getting
courage. G.
we're getting some call actually on my phone directly. I don't know why. So if there's anybody in the studio, let us know because we're getting many messages here.
Hello, you're live with us. Go ahead, please. Can you hear us?
Uh, Not really. Yeah, I can hear now. I can hear, dude. It's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good enough. Give me 1 second. What is your name? Okay. Aditi, 5th April 1971? 1981. Okay. So you're born on a Sunday. And what is your time of birth? Exact 5 p.m.? Okay. And place of birth? Okay. Which state is that? Oh, don't worry, I already found it. Okay. उदयपुर. तो आपका क्वेश्चन एग्जैक्टली क्या है? Okay, the chart which is made for you is your Leo ascendant. Leo की जो होता है, it is run by sun. That sun is very poorly placed in the 12th house. Okay, so there is definitely weakness. You also have a weak Mercury in that house. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you have a debilitated Mercury sitting in the 8th house. So that worries me. Uh, for health problems, we will only study your 6th house in this chart. The 6th house is house of disease. वहां बैठ गया केतु. Okay. Ketu is sitting in the house of Saturn, and Saturn happens to be sitting in your second house again with Mercury. So for health, did you say you have heart problem? Heart, yeah. Heart के लिए we always study Sun, Mars, and Moon. Your Sun and Mars are debilitated. They are sitting in the wrong house. Your Moon, however, is very strong. I would say दशा जो है वो खराब चल रही है. You need to wait until March of 2025 before something meaningful that will happen. Even after that, between March 2025 and 2026 February, I would say is a decent time for you. But 2026 February से लेके 2028 August तक, I think you're going to have another surgery if you haven't had one. Be careful about it. It's not a good time for you. Ketu is going to, I think you should first talk to your doctor, see what your doctor says, then call our office if you want. Health related issues are very difficult to discuss on the phone. Uh, you need, complete information for that. Call our office, try getting an appointment, but in a nutshell, you have some good time right now, but आगे जाके problem होगा. You are going to have an issue. Moon is also the three key planets, Sun, Moon, and Mars. Sun and Mars are placed in 8th house, not good, with debilitated Mercury. And Moon is Lord of 12th. So these are not pointing to good things for you. देखिए हमें call कीजिए. We'll try helping you as much as we can. Okay, nothing to worry, but just stay healthy and do what your doctor says. That's important. Thank you. Oh, that was that caller. That was again related to sixth house, which we haven't reached, Kulraj.
Yeah, you know, very, very interesting how people have issues, and moment they speak to you, it becomes really, it's like a awakening, and so much of information.
But
Let's
देखो,
move to the third house.
when she called, we could see the sixth house has Ketu. It's health related.
Mm-hmm,
For heart, we always see Sun, Mars, Moon. And Moon is Lord of 12. Sun and
mm-hmm,
Mars is placed in bad house with debilitated Mercury. And Jupiter be retrograde पीछे बैठा है Saturn के साथ. So this is pointing to heart problems. There's no solution for it as such. Only
mm-hmm,
solution
mm-hmm.
is, it will take time. Should we make Saturn strong? Should we make Moon strong? It takes time to fix that. बहुत, in astrology, it's not straightforward. There's always a side effect, no?
Yes, yes. So let's move on to the third house, the house of courage, younger siblings, hobbies.
Third house, again, Upachya house, remember?
Yeah.
Is घर में, whichever planet is sitting, it's going to grow over time. Why do we say that? Because your uh, hobbies will grow as you grow older, na? You explore more. So third house has affinity with Gemini and Mercury. The key words for this house are courage, younger siblings, hobbies, and happiness. This is the house. If I want to see your relations with your younger siblings, we have to study your third house. It
Mm-hmm,
is also your friends, social media, how popular you're going to be with friend circle is third house. If you're made a leader of some institute or leader of something, how you will react is third house. Third house is also your courage. कभी कभी क्या होता है, some people are not bold, right? चुपचाप रह जाते हैं. That is because of third house. Sometimes some people have outbursts. They are very dominating, very strong third house. Third house also reveals your passion in life, what you want to accomplish. If your third house lord is placed in 12th, you will constantly keep spending money on your hobbies. You must be knowing some people जिनको एक हॉबी अच्छी लगती है और बहुत खर्चा करते जाते हैं उसके ऊपर. They'll keep spending money because this
yep.
is their third house that gives them happiness. Uh, Whether it is physical, mental, it also shows sports. So when people come to us and say, "Can I become a sportsman? Will I win?" अभी Olympic Games पे people who participate, they have very strong third house because this is the house of teamwork. It is the house of sports. It motivates us to do things, dangerous things also. The third house is associated with learning. See, second house was early childhood, preschool. Third house is basic school, जो आप जाते हो. Early school years. Family environment कैसा होगा. Also short term communication. We see people who drive Uber and Lyft for their business, DoorDash. Yes, correct. They have very strong third house because third house is the house of short travels, short communication. अगर हमने third lord, 10th lord का connection देख लिया, we know that's what you're going to do in life. You're going to be happy doing that. Vedic astrology also calls this as the house of drama, music, bravery, courage. हमने जब आपकी चार्ट पढ़ी थी, we saw a very strong third house. Remember, I was talking to you before you even showed me your chart. Ki your Venus is going to be strong and your third house is going to be strong because it puts you in media entertainment. Third, Venus and first house need to be important. Well placed planets will be good. जितने scientists होते हैं, they have a strong third house. It's a house of research also. No?
Mm-hmm,
Um, Military people, policemen have very strong third house because this is the house of courage, stamina. Overall, it's an excellent house. It fulfills all desires of your life.
mm-hmm,
Singing, drama. Lata Mangeshkar has a very strong third house. Arijit Singh has a very strong third house. Kumar Sanu has a very strong third house. Alka Yagnik has a very strong third house.
mm-hmm.
Singers have very, very strong third house. Mental stability is third house. Uh, Anything that is related with anything short in life is third house. The third house जो होता है उपाचाय houses. Singers get better and better over time, no? The Karak of the third house is Mars. अब आप बोलोगे कारक का मीनिंग क्या है? When a Karak sits in its own house, it causes problem for that particular relation. If you have Mars in your third house, likely you will not have good relations with your younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
कभी कभार झगड़े हो जाते हैं, प्रॉपर्टी डिस्प्यूट्स, आई जस्ट कांट स्टैंड माय यंगर सिबलिंग, हम देखते नहीं. इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ थर्ड हाउस.
What's
सो
happening
नाउ
with Ambani's? Both the brothers.
यू हैव टू जस्ट, बड़े भाई का थर्ड हाउस देखेंगे, छोटे भाई का 11th हाउस देखेंगे. That will tell us how the relations are. I personally have not bothered studying their chart, but that is what it will be. Now you can argue and say कि अगर third house खराब है, will I lose everything? Will I lose my music, my talent, my relation with my younger sibling? No, not true. You will lose one or two of them. Now, which one you use, we have to go back in detail and study. See,
Mm-hmm.
there are million aspects to life. On all million aspects are divided into 12 houses, no? अभी इन 12 घरों में से कौन सा फैक्टर होता है, we have to see,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Folks, you are listening to Dr. Saket Bhatia, and of course, we will be on air till 4 p.m. And let me give you his website, that is saketbhatia.com, and email if you want the Varshfal, and it's absolutely courtesy and complimentary from Dr. Saket Bhatia, info@saketbhatia.com. And the number to reach him after the show, 408 639 5300. And my next question, Doctor, to you is next comes the fourth house, property, nurture, and happiness.
fourth house is also called Sukbhav, happiness, the house of happiness. It obviously it has affinity with your mother, it has affinity with moon, it has affinity with the sign Cancer. ये जो fourth house है, ये बहुत important house होता है. It tells us where you are going to be happy in life. It
Mm-hmm,
tells us about your home environment. अभी हमने कहा था, if you have afflicted fourth house, you're not going to stay in your birth country, right?
mm-hmm,
But अगर आपका fourth house ज़्यादा ही afflicted है, then you keep moving from city to city to city. I have seen many people who were born in India, then they ended up staying in Hong Kong, then they stayed in Europe, then they stayed in Canada, then they stayed in America. Now they've gone to Australia. The fourth house is very damaged. वो हिलते जाते हैं. They cannot stay in one place at a time. Now, if you want to see how much property you'll buy, cars, houses, we have to study your fourth house. Fourth house is where you will also be very happy. आप घर जाते हो तो hopefully it should be a place of unwinding, relaxing, and just taking it easy, right? It shows your emotional nature. It shows your higher education. Second house was preschool. Third house was general school. Fourth house is more of your college. It's more of other stuff. It shows what you will enjoy in life, your capacity to enjoy things in life. Refining things in life are also in the fourth house. Land, property. So काफी लोग आते हैं, they ask me, should I get into real estate? Should I buy land? I look at the fourth house and I tell them, your fourth house is very strong. अगर fourth house में हमने cancer moon देख लिया, we say yes, go with it. That is a good business for you, right? Some people have lots of cars. They have passion for cars, right? अभी हमने कहा था third house is your hobbies and passion. Fourth house
mm-hmm,
is vehicles. अगर third और fourth में connection हो गया ना, then the person tends to, his life में interest is property, cars, luxuries. On the psychological level, it indicates your emotions, how happy you will be, how your subconscious level, how you will relax, rest. Some people keep working, working, and they break down. Some people like to unwind. That is fourth house. How much energy you will get in life is fourth house. Your emotions are fourth house. Mental disorders, lack of peace is fourth house. Probably the most sensitive house is the fourth house. Very difficult to overcome issues on this house. जितने married couples की problems होती है, fourth house. Your relation with your mother, fourth house. Your mother in general, fourth house. So when we rotate the chart to your fourth house, we can come to know exactly आपकी mother का nature क्या था, how you interact
Mhm.
with her. Your spirituality, how much you believe in religion, your faith is fourth house. Your family background is fourth house. अभी हमने कहा था एक शो पे the 10th house is the most influential house in the chart because when you were born 10th house is right up. That means fourth house is right down, ना? उल्टा है. Since it is the lowest point in your birth chart, it represents what is hidden and personal, what is not, you're not willing to share. If you have good planets sitting here, it's good for meditation, good for spirituality. So, indications of this house, your mother, your happiness, contentment, your heart is studied here, emotions, happiness, fixed assets, land, property, real estate, gardens, farmland, agriculture, paternal house, property, education, academic education, how your life will end, when you will pass away is all from the fourth house. इसके कारक planet दो हैं, moon and mercury. If we see moon and or mercury in the fourth house, we know you're going to have some problems with your mother. And if we have mercury also, you're going to have some problems with your mind. We have to be careful. Karak sitting in its own house is never considered good. Okay, never considered good.
Mhm.
So we've covered four houses. I think we'll stop just at four houses. We won't go beyond four houses today because
Okay.
हमें discuss करना है. If there's any call, that will be good. If there's no call, that's fine. But we want
Mhm.
to just revisit these four houses, and
Mhm.
see what we've learned in these four houses. We've
Mhm.
covered everything from you to you getting money, getting education, courage, hobbies, and starting to spend it on your house and property. See how the circle is starting to form. अभी fifth house आएगा. Next week we'll talk from fifth onwards. But this week this should be good enough. It's too much to digest in one show.
Absolutely, Dr. Saket Bhatia, I totally agree. There is so much to learn. जैसे कि आप अपनी लाइफ में कहीं जाना चाहते हैं, you pick up the phone or you go to internet and you make a booking, you check the flight, check the price, you pay the money and you take the flight and go to that destination. You see, I think life may most of the people who are successful, I think they make the right decisions, and that is because of the influence of stars, or they are born under certain planets. That's why they do that, or they can get guidance from somebody like you and correct their footprint and go in the right direction.
I think it's very important to know what your chart has. So it opens up the doors and avenues for you. आपको वो छोटी सी चीज जो आपको करनी थी लाइफ में जो आपने नहीं की. You don't want that regret. I could have done it. I didn't. So just last week, last Friday, I had a couple come in here. The boy is from Poland and his wife happens to be from Russia. She says, I always wanted to do a little bit of acting and modeling. I was never able to. I said, you made a mistake. You had the window. You didn't do it. She's saying, I did not have the courage to do it. I said, you should have done it. आपकी chart में था, but that window is closed. It's gone. So if you, life में, time is a straight line. You can't go back, na? Make the best of it. An astrologer will tell you what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. Before you can jump on a path, at least talk. So you know you're going to be right or you're going to make a mistake. How things will
Mhm.
go for you. We have to see that.
The influence of making right decisions and doing some uh, like taking guidance from somebody like you, and wearing those stones which are very, very effective. That's why you see the whole lot of people wearing on their fingers certain different stones which are based on their chart or their stars, and they help them guide them into the right direction to do the right things.
So I am a firm believer that if your chart has something good in it, and you want to improve it, you can try. But
Mm-hmm.
if there is some bad thing in your chart which is stopping you, then we call these remedies. We can help you with remedies. Remedies
Mm-hmm.
also have to be carefully done. Na? Agar humne, for example, if we do a remedy for someone, it could cause side effect, maybe health
Mm-hmm.
problem,
Mm-hmm.
maybe anger. So we have to calculate very carefully. हमने last time कहा था आपको, astrology means life is like a stage. All the planets are actors. When जब role आता है, that particular planet comes, starts its role, then goes back. So you have to do a remedy which makes sure that particular planet gets stronger. A remedy for a strong planet is not going to help you because the planet is already so strong. Why?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot make it stronger sometimes. It's
Mm-hmm.
senseless. You have to put effort yourself to do better in life. The planet is supporting you. But if there is a planet which is pushing you down or doing negative things in your life, then we have to do something to bring that negative aspect down, either by reducing the negative nature of that planet or by strengthening another good planet which is looking at that negative planet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because जब वो planet की दशा आएगी, he's still going to trouble you. Now, how much he troubles, we can reduce that aspect. So, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to boost in your life, you want to step forward, you want to make things happen in life, but you just don't know how to do it, come to a good astrologer, talk to one. We can really do wonders for you. I don't think there is even one successful person in India today who doesn't go to an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
Every politician, every celebrity, every businessman is going to one. In fact, I'm in California. I can say almost all, CEOs of big companies, Fortune 100 companies, Indians. Why Indians? Mexicans, Russians, they all come. They all go to astrologers because they've helped them. अगर आप astrologer के पास गए हो, it has not been a positive experience, then that is something wrong with the astrologer, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Generally, experiences are very good. They help shape you. Our path is simple. We are here to guide you, to make you more successful in life, to make you better. If you want a boost, call us. We can help you. I say us because I'm part of the International Association of Astrologies. We
Mm-hmm.
are an association of 800 astrologers with proven credentials. And each
Mm-hmm.
one of us has at least 25 years experience to help you.
Absolutely. I think it goes without saying that Dr. Saket Bhatia is one of the finest, and of course, astrology, numerology, and of course, the combined power can really help you. And of course, whatever your goals are and whatever you want to achieve, it can really help you a lot. So he's just one phone call away. Reach him at 408-639-5300. Visit his website, saketbhatia.com. And of course, email him info@saketbhatia.com. And trust me, it is always a memorable experience talking to you, Dr. Saket Bhatia. I really
Thank
enjoy
you.
and listening to you. And one day, perhaps my stars will say, hey, here we go. And, take
We
your help,
already are saying.
guidance, you know.
Absolutely. We'll talk again next week. We'll visit other houses as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, sir.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
The scientists are aiming for the same place finish. We need a